the big story, please. Hillary Clinton's campaign now jumping on board with Jill Stein's Recount effort in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Look who's with us on a Monday morning to start the show. Yes, the man himself, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Where do we start on this one? Legally, she can do it, but
yes,
it's going nowhere.
So this is not a recount mandated by law, because the difference between the votes is far greater than that minimal amount, which is 1/4% in the case of Wisconsin, in which it would be mandated by law and paid for by the state. So any candidate who was on the ballot can ask for a recount if they can pay for it, and Jill Stein is paying for it. Now, Mrs. Clinton joining it is a head scratcher. Who knows why she's doing that? There is a little bit of concern here. Not that the gap could be narrowed. There's a 25,000 votes there that they'd have to find were made up for or calculated erroneously. Here's the problem. If Wisconsin does not complete its recount by December 13th, it may lose its right to cast 10 electoral votes. Donald Trump will still be elected president of the United States, but he will not have those 10 votes. I don't know if there's a method to her madness. They don't go to Hillary Clinton. They just aren't cast.
Look, I think it's designed to undermine the legitimacy of the Trump presidency. Ask these questions.
Didn't we hear a very articulate oration from Mrs. Clinton herself about the dangers of undermining the legitimacy of the election? I think it was in the third debate, in which she said, "What's wrong with you? Why would you want to undermine the legitimacy of the election?" Now she's trying to do the same thing herself, or at least it appears she's trying to do it.
Let me go back to Jill Stein for a second. She's launched this recount effort. She's alleging that the Russians, that a foreign intelligence service meddled with our election. She has absolutely no proof whatsoever, but that is a dynamite charge to be leveling.
It is a dynamite charge. It may implicate the FBI, which, as you may recall, did some investigation at the request of the president and the Justice Department in late October and early November. We don't know what the result of that was. Here's the law. The law does not guarantee perfect elections. Guarantees basically fair elections, that the person declared the winner in fact won. Whether he won by 21,000 votes or 25,000 votes or 19,000 votes is of no moment to the law.
I see it as mischief-making by Hillary Clinton, undermining the legitimacy of the Trump presidency, and Jill Stein raising money. She's going to get $7 million. She only needs $2 million for the recount. Am I so wrong?
No, I think you're right, and I think the president-elect said the same thing over the weekend, and I think he's right. This is her effort to raise the financial standing of her fledgling Green Party, which I gather is on the ballot in most states.
Okay, Judge, we'll see you back in about an hour and a half.
You got it.
All right, thank you, Judge. Now, let me get to that soundbite from Hillary Clinton, what she said before the election about challenging election results. Roll that tape.
That's horrifying. You know, every time Donald thinks things are not going in his direction, he claims whatever it is rigged against him. That is not the way our democracy works. We've been around for 240 years. We've had free and fair elections. We've accepted the outcomes when we may not have liked them. And that is what must be expected of anyone standing on a debate stage during a general election.
Oh, the value of videotape when you really need it. You know? She did say you should accept the outcome. That was before the election. Now, President-elect Trump's incoming chief of staff, that's Reince Priebus, he responded on Fox News Sunday. Watch this.
It was their team that cut a deal with our team that said when the AP called the race, they would call within 15 minutes and concede, which they did. It is a total and complete hypocritical joke that the group of people that thought that they were nervous about President-elect Trump not conceding are the people that are conducting recounts in states where we've won by over 68,000 votes.
I want to know what really is going on here with the Clinton camp. I've said that she's meddling with this, undermining the legitimacy of the Clinton presidency. What say you? What is Hillary Clinton up to here?
You know, look, she's placating the left. Everybody knows this is an impossible dynamic. In Pennsylvania itself, there's a 70,000 vote margin. For Florida, with Bush and Gore, it was a 547 vote margin, which understandably you'd want to recount. This is impossible. At the same time, this keeps her relevant. There is an election coming up, not for 2020, but for the mayor of New York. That could be interesting as well.
Whoa, you just chucked that right into the middle of the ring right there. You think she's angling to be the next mayor of New York City? Is that your implication?
She's not going to go quietly into this dark night, is she? She likes influence. There has been a decline in donations to the foundation. This is a woman who thought that she was entitled to this. She was strongest clearly in California and New York. If there's any place where she could go in and win a local or a statewide election, it would be one of those two states. New York, of course, she feels would have more influence. But keep in mind, this is not about changing the election. This is about what the Democrats do. They manipulate people's emotions, they promise things that are impossible, and then they steal your money. This is why they lost the election on November 8th. And this is what this is all about once again.
I can't get past your speculation. I think that's what it is.
We'll see.
That she wants to run for mayor of New York City. Now, do you have a source that says this, or is this...
would know.
Really?
Or at least know the Democrats and know her realm.
She was First Lady. She was a senator from the great state of New York, and she would come and become the mayor of New York City.
Look, she's never really won a hard-fought election. Her election to the Senate was with Rick Lazio after Mayor Giuliani dropped out. This is a woman who really has not won anything that has been challenged directly. I think she wants to be able to do that. Becoming mayor of New York perhaps could be a walk for her, I think. But also keep in mind here, you've got a dynamic with Hillary and I think the Democrats in general where they're looking for relevancy. What could your leader of the party do to make them relevant again? And remember also, Barack Obama is the one who told her to concede. And when they did concede, it was not Hillary, according to reports, that made that call. So she has been resistant this entire time, and this is what could end up happening. But ultimately, this is a scam. It's about money. It's about relevance. And I agree with you, to sow doubt into the election, because that's a bonus for them.
Okay. Mayor of New York. I'm scratching my head, literally.
God help New York.
Let's move on. What do we got next?